Hey guys, so it is not quite time to eat king cake, almost. You got to resist the temptation a little bit longer. But if you are craving some king cake in a totally safe form, this is our newest kit. And I just wanted to walk y'all through our newest kit. It's super cute, genuinely, I think the cutest kit we've ever put together. And everything in here is really like meticulously thought out. So what this is a kit to make a carnival table. So it's kind of like our charcuterie, our cheese board table, but instead of a cheese board, it's a little table that you would have at carnival time. And it comes with everything that you see on this shoe to make your little table with a little bit of fried chicken, a couple of king cakes, and I'm just gonna walk you through the contents of the kit. Inside your kit, you have got a little bitty set of sugar to put the sugar on your king cake. And then you've also got lots of fun little pieces. You've got 1 ounce of our exclusive fried chicken mix that when you combine it with a little bit of tissue paper, creates that fried chicken texture. You've got some purple, green, and gold sprinkles to do a little purple, green, and gold sprinkle king cake. You got some little bones to make your fried chicken. And then you've got the block of polymer clay to make your king cakes, and there's enough in here to make several king cakes. You've got a couple of different frosting options. You've got a blade to help you sculpt the king cake. You got your frosting, and then this is your laminated template to make your king cakes the right size for the kit. In addition to those things in the kit, you have got a set of instructions. And I know this looks intense. It's just because I wanted to be detailed, so you had absolutely everything you needed. You've got a little bit of tissue paper to put some tissue paper inside your chicken box and some tissue paper inside your king cake box. You've got, in flat form, your king cake box, your chicken box, and this comes in 2 options. You can either get the Muses box, which says love that glitter from Muses, and has an M, Louisiana glitter, and has some throws, some shoes, some beads, some cups, some ducks. Or you can get one that says Carnival, love that glitter from NOLA, and that option has a couple of different throws, coconuts, grails, beads, doubloons, shoes, plunger, more. So you get these 2 boxes, which you're going to cut out and assemble into the boxes on your throw. And we have a video, obviously, of all the pieces of this. And then finally, in every kit, you have got a little mini bag and a piece of gold foiled cardboard to put your king cake on, some twist ties to put your king cake in the bag after you sculpt it and frost it. You've got a little piece of plastic to make the window in your king cake box so it really looks realistic. You've got a sticker, so you have the option of putting that on the bag, and you've got a mini knife so that you can leave your knife in the box. And so when you pick out your kit, either online or in the shop, pay attention to which one you're getting. There'll be a sticker on there that either says Muses Chicken Box or Carnival Chicken Box. And that's the only difference. Otherwise, the kits are the same. The only difference is what your chicken box looks like. So you get these 2 boxes, which you're going to cut out and assemble into the boxes on your throw. And we have a video, obviously, of all the pieces of this. And then finally, in every kit, you have got a little mini bag and a piece of gold foiled cardboard to put your king cake on, some twist ties to put your king cake in the bag after you sculpt it and frost it. You've got a little piece of plastic to make the window in your king cake box so it really looks realistic. You've got a sticker, so you have the option of putting that on the bag, and you've got a mini knife so that you can leave your knife in the box. So that is everything that's in the kit. We have thought about all the little pieces that you need to make your carnival time table look super fun. It'll teach you a lot of skills. It'll teach you, and I promise it's really straightforward the way that we've put together the template and everything. So you'll have a lot of fun putting together your little bits. I've done a video in the past on how to make the chicken, but I'm putting up some videos on how to make the little mini king cakes. And so it's a really great kit to learn some new skills and a very cute finished product. And just the thing if you're craving king cake, but not quite there yet. So this is on our shelves, and it's going to be on our digital shelves as well. So go ahead and learn some new crafts and make a very cute little finished throw. So this is probably, for most people, the trickiest part of the kit, but not to worry, I am here to help you. You've got a little blade in your kit, and it says, caution, sharp blade enclosed, handle with extreme care. That is true. Be very, very careful. If you do not want to use this, you do not have to. I find it makes it a little bit easier. It's totally up to you. So you've got a block of gold Sculpey. Sculpey is an oven-baked clay. So you'll notice your block of Sculpey has like these lines to kind of divide it. It's a 2-ounce block, so each of these lines is about a 1/2 ounce. You can kind of break it like that. And it takes, I find, about, you know, a 1/4 of a block. So you can save this for something else. You can make some more king cakes for something else. And the clay is soft until you bake it. So you're going to just squeeze it in your hands and soften it up. And you can, of course, you know, make whatever you want. But for the purposes of this kit, you want your king cakes to be this size so that they fit in the box and the bag and really look like mini king cakes. So we've provided a little laminated, template is laminated. You're gonna make one like this and one like this. And you can make them any way you want, but I'll show you how I think it's cute to make them. So you're gonna just roll that out. You might get a little glitter in it because, you know, we've all got glitter in our homes, but that's not a big deal. So kind of roll it out into kind of a chubby little snake. And then I would kind of lay it on the template. That looks pretty good. So you want it to be about that size, and you can smush it and then kind of smooth it out. So I've got it about the right size. I'm going to go ahead and smush it together a little, kind of make the shape a little smoother. More like a king cake. You can just kind of squish it with your fingers. And you'll have some little seams, but that's fine because you're going to cover it with your fake icing and fake sugar or sprinkles later. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to set that aside and do my little ring. I'm going to do the same thing for my ring. But to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to do this one with a twist. So I roll this out a little thinner. Roll this one out a little bit thinner. I'm going to fold it in half and then twist it. Makes a very fun little twisty king cake. And at this point, you know, I could do my oval like this one, or I could do them either way. But what I think is cute to do is this. I'm going to put it on my little circle. And I'm going to take my blade and be very, very careful. And I'm just going to fake cut a couple of pieces out of that king cake. I'm going to set that aside. Then I'm going to take this and make some little fake slices. So I roll that, roll it out thin, twist it together, and cut a couple little fakes. And I think in this case, I'm going to cut 2 slices. But this way you don't have to worry about the ends. So that's why I kind of like to do the fake slices. I also think it's fun to just have those little slices ready. So the great thing about this is if you're like, I'm not in love with that, you can start over. It is not locked in until you bake it. So you can practice, you can try it. Oop, my little piece rolled away. You can play with it, you can experiment, you can get it to the place where you're happy with it. So I'm just rolling this, rolling it out, making kind of a fat little snake. And it will leave some residue on your table, so just make sure you protect your surface. So I was not unhappy with the first one, but this is what you would do if you wanted to make it again. So you got your little template. I'm actually gonna trim those edges so it joins cleanly. Smooth it out a little bit. See, I think it came out even better my second time. And just kind of smush it around. Make it the shape that you want it to be. Just making sure it's approximately the same size as the template. If it's a little smaller or a little bigger, it's not gonna bother you too much, but you want it to be close. So that's pretty close. And the pieces don't have to fit. The pieces are gonna be outside the box on mine. So now these are ready to bake. So at NOLA Craft Culture, we actually sell these very cute little pans for doing your polymer clay work. They're just a cute, good little size, but you can also use like a piece of aluminum foil. I'm gonna set these on my tray. And then this bakes, according to the Sculpey instructions, it's 275 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. So I'm gonna bake these 275, 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna let them cool off, and then I'm gonna frost them. So once my little clay king cake pieces are all nice and baked, they're gonna look something like this. There's my little slices. So I've got some scribbles, I've got iridescent, and I've got winter white. I've got a little mini set, and I've got some sprinkles. So I can do 2 styles of king cake, and then it really looks like a very festive table. So I'm gonna cut open my scribbles. And you can do any style you like. I personally like to pair the winter white with the sprinkles and the iridescent with the sugar. So when I'm ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and do the one, this one, the one in the oval one that's gonna go in the bag. I'm gonna put some iridescent scribbles on. And you may find it helpful to use a little paintbrush or a little toothpick, whatever works for you. Put plenty of frosting or icing. Plenty of icing on that king cake. And then you've got your little sugar. And you can put this in any pattern that appeals to you. And it's okay if it's a little messy, because it's, you know, meant to look like the real deal. And they aren't breaking out rulers and measuring these things. They're making it happen. All right. That's one beautiful little king cake down. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this, but with some sprinkles. Just some flat winter white all over that. And don't forget, you also need to do your little pieces that got cut out. Don't forget about those. All right, beautiful. We're gonna just take some sprinkles and sprinkle these. Plenty of these are fake sprinkles, so they won't attract bugs. But they will be adorable. So you can put as many of those as you want, wherever you want them to go. So I just took a moment to kind of arrange the sprinkles a little bit, take off some of the long ones and make sure they were, each one got a little bit of purple, green, and gold. And I've got my sugar on my iridescent one. And this one's gonna, when it's dry, is gonna go in the bag, and this one is gonna go in the little box that we made. So it's gonna be super duper cute. But for now, we have to let these dry because the frosting on there, the fake icing, is gonna take a little while to dry. So we'll let that dry and then we'll put together our king cakes. So once you're ready, you're gonna go ahead and cut out your boxes. I'm gonna start by cutting out my king cake box. Just cut along the edges, nice and careful. You wanna leave yourself a little bit of that purple edge. Before I fold it, I would recommend you cut this square out. And for that, we're gonna use our razor blade. Or you can do this with little scissors if you're not comfortable with the razor blade. I personally find it's a little easier with the razor blade. Make sure you have something underneath. You don't want to just cut directly on your table because you are gonna damage the surface underneath if you do that. So cut that square out. And again, if you prefer to use scissors, you can definitely use scissors. Do what makes you feel comfortable. We're cutting this square out so we can create that little plastic window that you'd see in a real king cake box, but little. And now that should pop out. So this is a box that's been cut out. I'm gonna go ahead and crease all the edges so that my box can fold up. All of the edges, and once the edges are all creased up, it'll look like this. So before I am gonna go ahead and glue it together, you wanna put the little window of plastic in the top of the box to create that little plastic window that you would see in a normal king cake. So you've got a little piece of plastic. It's actually a little plastic envelope, so you've got two pieces. So go ahead and cut that down. You want it to be slightly bigger than your window so that you have a lip to glue it. And then once you have your little plastic window cut, you can use whatever adhesive you want to use. You could use Aleene's. I personally like to just do a quick little bead of hot glue right around the edge. Don't get it right up on the edge because then it'll bleed over and show. You just want enough glue, tiny little bit of glue to hold that little plastic window. And now you've got that little plastic window in your box, just like an actual king cake. And so now that we've done that, we can put our box together. Just a little tiny dollop of hot glue on each of the little tabs. And you could use a different glue. I just like to use hot glue for this because it's quicker. So you're gonna go ahead and put a little dollop of hot glue on each of your tabs. It takes hardly any. A little glue there. And that's just how you make your box. So you go all the way around, gluing together the little box. Everywhere there's a tab, you're going to just fold it under and glue it. And I'm going a little quick on this. You go as slow as you want to go to make it look like the real deal. Alrighty. So now that's our box all put together. So for the fried chicken, we've got a little fried chicken box. And we're gonna put this together the same way we did our little king cake box, except we're not gonna put the window in there because there isn't a window in the chicken box. And you've got your little bag of bones, and you've got 1 ounce of our NOLA Craft Culture exclusive fried chicken glitter. So I've actually posted a video on how to do this before. I think it was in August when fried chicken was our limited edition cookbook glitter, but we've got a little bit in the kit, so if you missed it in the cookbook glitter, you can get it in the kit. And then I'm gonna take, you can use whatever you like. Set this aside. You can use newspaper, you can use tissue paper, you can use like a napkin. I cut a little strip of tissue paper. I'm gonna crumble it up to make the texture. Got these little chicken bones to make my little fried chickens. Little bitty bit of hot glue, and be careful, hot glue is hot. And then I'm just gonna wrap that tissue around, kind of twisting and gluing as I go until my drumstick is about as big as I want it. You guys can see that tissue, just a little crumpled, twisted piece of tissue and a little hot glue. And that's how we make the drumstick happen. That's about perfect. I'm very happy with that amount. But if you aren't happy with it, it's not too hard to just pull the tissue paper off and try again. But that's my little drumstick. So I'm going to take my little drumstick, put glue over just the tissue paper, and then I've got my fried chicken glitter. Make my little drumstick. And I'm just gonna make, I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna do a second coat. I'm gonna brush it off of the little bone. And I'm gonna make about, you have 6 in your set. I'm gonna make, probably I'm gonna make all 6, and then we'll see where they go. All right, so now that we have all of our pieces made, our frosted king cakes have dried. We've put together our little boxes. We've got our little king cake box with the window. We've got our little fried chicken box. And we're ready to put everything together. I've done a shoe. This is a shoe that I did, and it's a mix of purple prints and She's So 80s Fuchsia, which I like to do. It kind of gives it a slightly more, a slightly hotter purple. And I'm gonna brush off my excess. I did this with a confetti. It's a limited edition confetti that I think we still have a few jars of in the shop. We call it Waking Up on Bourbon Street, and it's just a mix of a little bit of everything, and I love it because it kind of has that street after the parade's gone by and all the random confetti and stuff is a little bit of everything everywhere. So I'm going to brush this off, and you can see this is one of those shoes that I use like for the charcuterie that has, I've taken the straps off and it's just a little table, and I'm going to trim this out with this gold and green trim that we have in the shop, because since I did it purple, if I accent it with gold and green, I'll have the trifecta. Just gonna trim her out. It's a very thick, very dramatic trim, so this is a good shoe design for that. Hot gluing it all the way around, making sure I don't miss any spots. And when you have a thicker trim, you have to be more careful how you hug the curves. So I'm getting this beautiful, really dramatic trim around the whole edge. Making a nice little table to put all my fun little bits and bobs on. That's really pretty. I love that. And you can do the table however you want. You could do a picnic cloth. You could do purple, green, and gold. You could do a white table. whatever works for you. You could put a little fringe on this to make it look like you have a fringed tablecloth on the edge. That would also be very cute. But I've gone with this mix of purples with confetti and this gold and green trim. So I have a nice purple, green, and gold shoe ready to go. Very fun. All right, and now we're ready for assembly. So I'm gonna take my oval king cake, and my oval king cake is the one that I've done the iridescent white mist and the sugar on, but you can do any style that you want. I'm gonna give it a little bit of hot glue, and I'm gonna put it on this piece of gold foiled cardboard that comes in your set. I'm gonna put that on there. I've got a little mini bag. Gonna just slip that in the bag, and this whole thing comes together very, very quickly once you've made all the pieces. I'm gonna put a twist tie, twist that bag shut. The bag, the twist tie, the cardboard, it all comes in your set. I'm gonna go ahead and cut those a little shorter so it looks a little more to scale. And then I've got my little bagged king cake. And if you want to, you can put a sticker on the bag, because they sometimes do put stickers on the bag, and that's pretty cute. And we've included a little NOLA Craft Culture sticker if you want to put a sticker on your king cake. For my little square king cake, I'm gonna go ahead and cut myself a piece of tissue, a little bit bigger than the box. And you're hardly gonna see this, so don't stress about it too much. Got my little box. I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue in the bottom of the box just to hold the tissue paper in there. Tuck my tissue paper in. Now I've got the tissue paper in the box. I'm gonna put, same as with the bag, a little bit of hot glue on the bottom of my king cake and put it in the box. And then your set comes with a tiny, tiny little adorable knife. And this, of course, true New Orleanians, you leave the knife in the box. So I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue on the knife and just glue it onto the king cake. So you know that you have the knife in the box with the king cake. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna cut a square of tissue paper, a little bit bigger than the box, to put in the bottom of the fried chicken box. And I've done all 6 pieces of fried chicken here, but I'm probably only gonna put about 3 or 4 in the box. So I put my tissue paper into the fried chicken box, and then I'm gonna pick out the ones that I think are the least pretty. The ones, I'm gonna pick out the drumsticks that came out the nicest to put outside the box. So then I'm gonna put some little fried chicken pieces inside the fried chicken box. Make a nice little pile of them. That's pretty freaking cute. So now I've got my little king cake in the box, with the knife in the box and the window, and the king cake in the box. I've got the king cake in the bag. I've got a little box of fried chicken. I've got a couple little extra pieces of chicken. I've got a couple slices of king cake. So I'm gonna take a paper towel, and you don't have a paper towel in your kit, but you know, just you can use a paper towel or a napkin, whatever you wanna use. And I'm gonna cut a couple of little napkins. I'm actually gonna cut them a little bit bigger than that. But the nice thing about cutting them out of paper towel is you got plenty to work with. All right, I'm gonna cut a couple little napkin squares. Let me cut a few more. And I'm gonna have my fried chicken and my king cake outside on the table on top of my little square paper towels. All right, so now we are ready to put the whole thing together. And you can arrange this any way that you like. I'm gonna put the box of fried chicken on the front there. I'm gonna put a couple little pieces of chicken outside the box. Add some hot glue. You got your fried chicken, and then I'm gonna put my big king cake up here. Or rather my box king cake up there. King cake in the bag here. And then just a couple of slices of king cake here. And here. And how adorable is your precious little Mardi Gras table? And you can, this is interactive, you can open and close it, but it's super duper cute. And you can add whatever details you like.